Peace, peace, peace. Hope all's well, everybody, man. Hopefully, y'all had a blessed day. Hopefully, the Most High in your house, y'all is blessing everything that y'all do. Y'all growing and increasing, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Hopefully, pray that's going well with y'all and your loved ones, your families. You know, um, yeah, man, I was really wanted to pick up off of, I was just meditating, thinking about it, because I talked about the movie I was watching, The Good Son, came out like 30 years ago with Macaulay Culkin. I'm forgetting the other cast member's name, but it was ironically directed by. And I touched on the last video I did about it. The movie it was ironically, not really ironically, just saw the Most High, even though he was an Edomite. It was directed by a director named Joseph Rubin, and I touched on the last part. That the last video I did on it is like how blood is in all his family, and of course the director's name is Joseph Rubin. So, so. But I really want to touch on, in the video, I was just thinking about it because I really wanted to pick up on, just do a little part two to it because I wanted those who haven't watched it, I watched it like a few weeks ago, but yeah, like a few weeks ago. But those who haven't watched it, I mentioned or those who have seen it, I've mentioned in the video, like I think because like what you call him, like how I'm forgetting the character's name, Macaulay Culkin's character in the movie, like it was at the end, it was at the end scene. I was saying like I don't even understand why the mother was even sad, like because he was going to probably kill more people, man. But then I thought about the David and Absalom dynamic. I was like, what? Maybe I kind of understood it more why she was even crying, because that was her son. Even though he was evil as hell, but but I thought about David, the story of David and Absalom. Actually, well, we know that was part of David's judgment, of course, but still all that befell him, and his own son trying to kill him. And if you see the movie, it's own son, their own son was eventually, if you see the movie, is going to kill both of the parents, basically. So that's then of course I really want to touch on the the last scene, basically. So actually, let me get this. 2 Samuel chapter 19 verse 5. It says, and Joab, I'll start at verse 3. This is when Absalom dies. Basically, Joab, after not being told not to kill Absalom, Joab just killed him anyway. Cause I don't know. That's another thing too. I don't know too, cause I don't know, cause Joab don't forget stuff too. I gotta do a video on Joab, or I gotta do something on Joab, man, cause Joab is one of the most interesting people in the scriptures, man. Cause it's hard to, he's I gotta do another separate video on Joab. I might do it separate video on Joab, Lord's will. I might do that, but anyway, I'm gonna get this. This is after what's called Joab, Absalom dies. This is 2 Samuel chapter 19, verse 3. I'll start at verse 4. It says, but the king covered his face, and the king cried aloud with a loud voice, "Oh, my son, Absalom! Oh, Absalom, my son, my son!" And Joab came into the house of the king and said, "Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day he have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons, and thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines." Verse 6. If thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends, for thou hast declared, let me read this again. For if in that thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends, for thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither the princes nor servants for this day. For I perceive that if Absalom had lived and we all had died this day, then they all please thee well. So yeah, man. So David, and actually, here's the thing about that too. I'm gonna get too caught up in the account with that too, but it's more of two things with this account for me. It's more of two things could be true, basically, because Joab wasn't wrong in saying what he said. It was like time and season for things. It wasn't the right time to say it, but to me, this is me speaking as a man. But probably wasn't the best time to say it. But it was true. But how David felt as well. That's the balance. So David actually wasn't wrong either. There's more two things could be true. But anyway, I was just tying this back to the good son, basically. I see why because that was still her son in the movie. That was still her son, even though because had Joab wasn't wrong, because had David had Absalom lived and what's going, he would have saw, he would probably would say he would came like, came up with a plan to, no, I'm gonna repent, I'm gonna apologize to my father. He could have came and stabbed David in the heart, basically. So that's what Joab is kind of laying down there. So he wasn't wrong, but same thing with the good son in the movie. Which one had he let had the Macaulay Culkin's character live, and act like he was sorry for what he did. He could have killed both of the parents. He killed the whole family. So it wasn't wrong, but still, that was David's son, and the fact that David, I think, shout out to Sons of Thunder, yo y'all, brother Joel, I think y'all all that he mentions it when he did a class about Absalom. Basically, he said the fact that David never saw him again. Basically, the fact that he never seen his sons, he never was going to see his son's face again. That's what really messed up. And that was the fact, and also the fact that that was his son though. Like that was really his son. I remember in the Discord that brother was talking about that. Uh, one of the brothers, they felt one way. They said, well, we really can't feel too, I mean, that was part of David's judgment, so it's hard for me to feel sorry for him and stuff like that. But and I think another brother, I'm not sure who, but I'm just kind of vaguely remember the conversation. That brother felt like, and I even agree. I was like, yeah, but still, I understand where you're coming from to a degree, but but that was still a son. Like, imagine your own son trying to kill you. Like, if you watch Power, like, imagine that, like, your own son killing you. Like, you know how Tariq killed Ghost? Like, imagine your own son, like, trying to, like, kill you. Your own, like, son. Like, that's just really insane. Even though it was a part of his judgment. And two, I think that was, I remember reading that was David's favorite son. I think I remember doing some research that was David's favorite son. That made even the judgment even, made it even worse because that was his favorite son trying to kill him. But the fact that but tying it back to the good son though, yeah, that's the reason why. Because had his character lived, basically, he could have killed the whole family. But still, she was still crying. But now, like because when I did the first video, and I was like, man, why is she crying? He was about to kill the whole family. That little Edomite was about to kill the whole family. She was, but he actually tried to push her off the cliff. I think in the movie, he tried to kill the sister. He killed the brother. She tried to kill the stepson, whatever, and he was going to kill the whole family still. But still, I understand now why she cried because that was still her son, basically. Same with David and Absalom. David was like, still. Actually, let me read it. I said David. 2 Samuel chapter 19 verse 4. It said, "But the king covered his face. The king cried with a loud voice, 'Oh my son Absalom! Oh Absalom, my son, my son!'" Because that was his son at the end of the day still. So now I kind of understood why even the last scene when she had to choose. But like when I read in scriptures, what was it Proverbs 17 and 3, I believe. I'm not remembering, but with the wise son a wise servant will get the son's inheritance, basically of an evil son. I'm roughly paraphrasing. But she basically chose. She had to make that choice. Like she chose. Like she made the right choice pretty much. Even though that hurt her, but this still that was it. You had to make that choice, and but it still hurt. But still, she was crying at the end. Even his son that tried to kill the family died. She was still sad because that was her son at the end of the day, man. So now I kind of understood it. Now just thinking and meditating on it because at first, when I did the video, even when I was watching the movie, I was like, why the fuck is she, like, even sad? Why is she even sad about, her, him dying? Because he was going to kill the whole family. But now, like, thinking about the account of, I kind of thought about it at the time, too, when I was watching, but then again, it slipped my mind because I was, like, so focused on other things, but I was just, like, in the dynamics in that movie. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, yeah, David and Absalom. I see why she was still crying after that whole thing still, because that was still her son at the end of the day, man. So that was yeah, man. So let me see, what is it, Proverbs? I think it is Proverbs 17:3 or 17:2. I think 17:2 is a wise son for the scripture. I'm trying to remember it. Yeah, but check that out. But yeah, man, that was the reason why, pretty much. Yeah, that's Proverbs 17 too. Yeah, that was the reason why. She was still, because that was still her son at the end of the day. Same with David and Absalom, basically, because that was still her son at the end of the day. She was never going to see him again, even though he tried to shoot. Like, you gotta think about it in these situations. He could have, like, even with David, Absalom could have came and come up with a devise a plan, to kill his father. He lived and act like he repented and stabbed his father in the heart, or just killed him, or had somebody else do it, or even in the movie that could have happened. But you know what? At the end of the day, it didn't happen because that was just what that's just what happened with that. But I forgot, my fault. I'm losing my train of thought. But um, yeah, seriously, man, that was just it on that, man. And I see why now thinking about it. Um, she felt a certain way. She was crying in the movie, like, same thing with David. Still that was still their son. Like, remember, we just gotta visualize and imagine that, like, your own, like, son trying to kill you. But this is like all this stuff. I was actually talking about this with one of my homies too. A few months back. Like, we was talking about, like, how, like, in the industry, whatnot, people in the craft and whatnot, and in the occultic world and whatnot. On the left hand path, basically all these celebrities, politicians, entertainers, all of them in the among the elites in the craft and whatnot, that we see. This is like, that's why we was talking about how it's so not easy for them to sacrifice people, because shoot, regular people kill their own family members, and that stuff happens every day. Like, and imagine, like, you're in that world, and they people promise you millions, and and prestige and fame, and in higher acclaim. So that's really nothing. So we read that stuff in the scriptures. How about you? We read too just now, David, Absalom, the 12 patriarchs, selling Joseph into slavery. Joseph told brothers selling into slavery. Gideon's son Abimelech killed like 70 of his brothers. All that stuff. So all that stuff ain't nothing new. So yeah, man. So but yeah. So that was really it on that. I just want to touch on that dynamic because I had to think about it. I was like, well, shit. Like, why was she even like crying? Like, because he was going to kill like the rest of the family. But then I just thought of David Absalom, that account. So yeah, man. Hopefully it was edifying. So hopefully the Most High and Yahushua is going to bless everything y'all do, man. Hopefully y'all having a good week, man. Y'all staying strong, man. I just want to let y'all know, man. We can grow in knowledge and wisdom, understanding each day, man. Pray for y'all brothers and sisters that's watching, man. Seriously, man, that things go well for y'all, man. Seriously, man. I know if y'all going through trials and tribulations, man, definitely, man, we all can get through this thing with faith with the Most High Yahushua and doing what He laid out for us to do, man. So, all right, so peace.